Hello everyone, welcome back to Angela's Craft Room. Today I'm going to show you how to do this double pleated card. So it's just this fold here and it's just quite effective. I've done it on a Christmas card here, but you could use any design series paper you like, and just depending on what card you're making, whether it be birthday, anniversary, wedding, it just is quite an effective fold. So on this one I've used as my base cherry cobbler, and then I've just made a band with some scrap cardstock across there, and I've added some silver glitter ribbon, which is in the new Christmas catalogue that came out on the 1st of September 2016. It's in a combo pack where you get 10 meters of ribbon, or I think 9 meters, sorry, on 2 reels. So you get this silver glitter ribbon, and you also get the sweet sugar gum color. So really great for Christmas cards. Then this designer series paper is This Christmas DSP from the annual catalogue, which came out on the 1st of June 2016. And I've used a piece of Very Vanilla and embossed it with the Holly embossing folder, which is one of our new embossing folders, which is just great for Christmas. And our little stars are our new enamel shapes, and these particular ones are from the Regal collection. Now the sentiment I've used on this card is from one of our new stamp sets, which can be bought as a stamp set or in a bundle, Star of Light, which was released on the 1st of September in the new Stamping Up Christmas catalogue for 2016. So check that catalogue out. If you don't have a catalogue, you can see all these products that I'm using today on the Stamping Up website. I'm more than happy to help you with an order or whatever your needs are. If you see any of these products that you'd like to purchase, I'll leave a link below for my online store. But just leave a comment below if you need any help or you'd like me to contact you. So, and the scallop, I've cut that out with my Big Shot. That comes from the new Layering Ovals framelits, and you get quite a lot of framelits. You get the this is a scalloped one, and you get the straight edge, what I call the straight edge one, and you can layer them to your heart's content. There's so many different sizes and different options that you can use. So let's get started in showing you how to do that fold. Now to start with, what we need is a piece of designer series paper that measures 10 inches long by 5 inches wide, and then we're going to score that. So I'll just bring in my Stamping Up scorer board. Now we're just going to place that across the top, so you have your 10-inch side across the top. And with the scoring tool that you get from Stamping Up with your scoring board, you have a small end and a large end. I call it a knob. So when you're doing the designer series paper, you don't press as hard as you would if you're scoring cardstock. So just be aware of that, and you use the larger end when you're scoring your cardstock. Now depending what side you want, this is when you're doing designer series paper scoring for this particular fold. If you wanted, I want this to be my top piece, so I'm going to turn that over and score on the opposite side. Okay, so we're going to start scoring. So we're going to score at 1 inch, and I won't go too fast, so if you want to score as we go, then that's at 1 inch, and then we're going to score at 1.5, and then at 2.5, and I'm hardly applying much pressure to that at all. So that's at 2.5, then we're going to go to 3, then we're going to go to 4, and this is in inches, we're scoring in inches, and then we're going to go 4.5, then 5.5, then 6, then 7, and then it's 7.5, just 7.5, and then 8.5, and 9. So I'll just repeat those for you. That's the scoring done, but placing it across the top with your 10 inch across the top, and then you're going to score at 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2.5 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 4.5 inch, 5.5 inch, 6 inch, 7 inch, 7.5 inch, 8.5 inch, and 9 inch. And then you're going to leave the paper in that position with the 10 inch side across the top of your trimmer or scoring board. And then we're going to mark, so you'll need a pencil, and we're going to mark, just grab my ruler. And then we're going to mark at 4.5 and 5.5. So this will give us our center mark. So at 4.5 and 5.5. And then I turn it to make it easier, because you need to do it on both sides. So at 4.5 and 5.5. And you will notice that that is on a scoring line. So make sure that's on a scoring line. So that's your halfway mark with your 10 inches. So make a mark at your 4.5 and your 5.5. And then we're going to turn the design of series paper, so we've got our 5 inches across the top here, and we're going to make a mark at 2 inches and 3 inches. Now what I like to do, because this isn't on a scoring mark, is I make the 2 inch and I just put a 2, and you'll see why when we get to there. We need to know which is 2 and which is 3, and then turn that and do it the same on this side. 2 and 3, and I'll just put a 3 there, and I put a 2 there. A bit hard on the scoring board, but 3. So we know. Okay, so now we're going to diagonally cut both sides with your trimmer using the marks we've just made. So I'm going to bring in the trimmer. Finished with my pencil. So what I'm going to do now, on the side that I've made the marks, I'm going to line them up. So I want to, this way, this side, I want to line that up in the 2-inch track and the 5.5-inch mark that we made, and we're going to cut that diagonally. So just make sure that both marks are in your cutting track, and you're just going to cut that away. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to line up the 3-inch mark. So you can see why I put 2 and 3, so I know which one's which. And then we're going to line that up with the 4.5. So the 3-inch mark up the top here and the 4.5-inch mark in your cutting track. Just thought that moved then, but it didn't. And just cut that away. So you've got that sort of shape. So now we're going to do the other side. So we're going to line up the 3-inch mark with your 4.5-inch mark. So if you put your 3-inch mark in the track and you just slide your designer series paper till that mark is in the track. Just make sure they don't move on you. It's easily done. And then finally we're going to do this one, which we're going to put the 2-inch mark in the track to your 5.5-inch mark there. So once they're both in the track, we're just going to cut them away. And because I've done them, well, I can get the trimmer away now, but because we made the marks on the wrong side, you're not going to see them. So we're going to turn them over, and you'll find by scoring on the opposite side that you want to see on your card, it's a lot easier with the design series paper to see the scored lines. So starting from one end, the first scored line, we're going to do a mountain fold. Now we're not using a bone folder yet. We're just going to crease these scored lines with our fingers. So we're just going to do that. And then the next one is a valley fold. Then we go to our next scored line, and that is a mountain fold. Then the next one is a valley fold. Next one is a mountain fold, and then a valley fold. And we've reached the center of our piece of paper. So we're going to turn it and do the other side. So we're going to do a mountain fold, a valley fold, a mountain fold, and a valley fold, mountain fold, and finally a valley fold, which will bring you into your center. So if it's not matching up, when you push it down like this, it's going to go on the card like this. Those two folds, those last two scored lines should meet together. If they don't meet together, or the scored areas don't look even to you, you've most probably scored incorrectly. So you just go back and check that. So then I just get my bone folder and gently burnish those lines, and just remember it's design series paper, so we don't need to add as much pressure as we would if we were doing it on cardstock. Okay, so I can see I've just got a little pencil mark there. Just get that off. And I've got a little one here. Even though we've done it on the opposite sides, it does show through, it's depending on the folds. So then we've got that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to get our snail, and just under each one we're just going to put a little bit of snail and then fold it back down to hold it in place. So on these longer bits I usually just put 3 little pieces of snail, and then you don't need a lot, you're just folding it in place because we're going to glue it to the front of our card. So we're going to put snail on the back of this, but this is just so your folds stay in place. So just turn it around. First one I just normally just put 1 piece because it's only a small fold, and these ones, these 2, I normally just put 3. And these are it's such a effective fold, and if you did it in all different designs of designer series paper, you would make your Christmas cards so quickly. Yeah, that one just needs a bit more. Didn't put quite enough snail on that, I don't think. So that is your double pleated fold that you're going to put on your card. Okay, so we'll just set that aside. So then what you need to do is cut your base card, which I've used cherry cobbler, which is 8.5 by 5.5, and then scored at 4.25. So we're just going to fold that, just burnish that. Then set that aside. Then I've just used a piece of scrap Whisper White to go inside my card. This is just 4 inches by 5 inches. You can just have exactly whatever you like. So I'm just going to stamp a little sentiment in the corner. So I'll just get my cherry cobbler out. Now I'm using the stamp Thinking of You at Christmas from the Embellished Ornaments stamp set, which is in your annual catalogue. Now my stamp pad is very juicy, so all I need to do is tap, tap, tap. Don't go pressing hard on it. Just tap, 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 and just make sure you've got a good coverage. You can usually tell by just moving it around. You can see it glistening on your stamp set. So making sure that your piece of cardstock is sitting on one of your lines of your grid paper, and we're just going to stamp that in the corner there, and that's the inside of our card done. So I'll just get rid of the cherry cobbler just in case we get ink on our card, and we're just going to set that aside just to dry for a couple of minutes. And then what I've used is in the new Christmas catalogue that was released on the 1st of September 2016, there's this beautiful Christmas paper. It's called Fancy Frost, and I don't know if, yeah, you should be able to, you can see there, that's the design on this one. You get different designs. It's a 12-inch by 12-inch pack, and it's well worth purchasing because you could use this as wedding invitations. You could use it for anything. You know, it's not just a Christmas one, even though it is in the Christmas catalogue. I would use this all year round. So what we're going to do is we're going to, I'll just tell you the measurements of, this is the front panel, and it is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Just double check for you. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I normally would emboss that, but because this is just so beautifully embossed already for me, I'm just using that as it is, just lining that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put this on the piece of paper like this. Now it won't reach to the very top and the very bottom or each side. It'll sit just a little bit off. So you just got to use your eye when you're gluing that down. So we turn it over, and I like to get my snail right on the edges of this fold, of all the different folds. Just bring it right across. You might not put as much snail on as I do, that's up to you. With this particular fold, I just like to get it right up to the edges. And then I just down each crease. Quite enough on that end for my liking. I don't want this to come off once I've made my card, that is for sure. So, okay, so we're bringing in that nice designer series paper, lining it up on your grid paper. Now, some of my customers thought that the grid paper was only for demonstrators to purchase. You purchase it in a pad, like this is like a block, and you just tear off your grid paper as you need it. So you can purchase it as a customer, so don't think it's just for demonstrators. So I'm just using my eye to line that up, top and bottom and at the side. It's a bit tricky, but I don't know if that's going to that won't let me take it off. I haven't quite gone across on one side enough, but that's okay. Just shows I'm human. So, like that. But it won't really matter once we put our banner across here. So what I've done is I've cut a piece of just scrap. This happens to be shimmery white, but it's just, you can just use any cardstock. So it measures 4 1/8 long, and I've just made it 1 inch wide, and it's going to sit in that center. So you can see, even though I did glue this down not right over enough, it won't matter, because by cutting that 1 inch wide, that's going to stick on there. So what we're going to do first is, in the Christmas catalogue also, there is a green and red for Christmas combo pack, which is really worth having. So I'm just going to, on the back side of this scrap piece of paper, I'm just going to put some tear and tape, because it's no good using anything but tear and tape when you're adhering ribbon or lace. The snail just won't hold it. So just stick that. So push it down with your fingers. And I find it easier just to use my tweezers to get underneath there and pull that one off. Now I'm just going to do one side first. Then this is on the wrong side, so I've just stuck that on one side. And if you know me, I tell you I don't put glue underneath my ribbon on this side of the card because I find it shows bulkiness and it doesn't sit nicely. So just making sure, try and get in the middle so it's pretty straight, and then it's already, oh, I didn't pull that. That was smart. I didn't pull that tear and tape off, did I? There we go. So we'll try that again. So if you do it this way, then you're not wasting ribbon off your reel as well. So just like to try and make it look like it's center and straight, and then let it just find the tear and tape, and then I just simply cut it off there. It's less wastage, and so then we've got our nice banner which is going to go across there like that. So then we're going to just add some snail to the back of there. Just trying not to get it, got a bit of snail on my grid paper. Then I'm just going to just grab my adhesive eraser and just remove that bit of snail that's sitting on there, because I don't want that to get stuck to my card. It's really handy, this adhesive eraser, for that purpose. Then just bring it back in, line it up. Now you know the center is here, so it's quite easy. There's a bit of snail at the top there. We can fix that once it's down. So I hope my head's not in the way for you to see, but I like to put, because once this goes down, there's no way it's coming up. So I'm just as equal as I possibly can, and then pop that down. That did move on me. Oh, look, it's going to let me move it. It just moved on me at the last second. So I've just got a bit of snail up there. So we'll just take that off. So that's looking quite nice. And actually the shimmery white cardstock looks quite nice as well. So that's the piece I put across there. Now we'll just put our piece inside while we remember. So I'm just going to add some snail on there. Always a bit of a challenge when you're sitting doing a tutorial because I'm used to standing when I'm sticking down. So this is just a piece of 4x5. So if you just allow about 1 grid square at the top and 1 grid square at the bottom, you pretty much will get that straight. Now I don't rub it down there. When I close my card and I just give it a bit of a rub so it adheres. The reason I do that is that then I don't get any ink on all over my nice white Christmas card. Okay, so you can see it's coming together. So what we need to do now is I have made a sentiment all ready to go, but I just wanted to quickly show you how I do. Very easy. So we've got the decorative label punch. So that makes our life easy when we're wanting to cut out a nice crisp sentiment. So I've got the thinking of Christmas. So I'm just tap, 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 tap. Then this is where scrap pieces of paper come in handy. Then I'm just going to stamp that down there. Put my ink away. Then just release your Stampin' Up punch, this brown lever underneath. You just push it up and then you're just going to feed your sentiment inside. Just center it. So I think you can see that. Just center it. So if you've stamped it crooked, this is going to save you so much heartache of restamping. So once you are happy with how it's sitting inside there, you add pressure to the back of your punch and you just punch it out. It's that easy and you've got a perfect cut sentiment. So I just wanted to show you that. So we'll just pop that one over there and bring in our card. Well, our front panel we're still working on. So now we're going to add this to our card with some dimensionals. Now it's going to pop one on each corner. And I always like to put one in the middle. And I just grab my tweezers. I find it easier to lift just those backs off. You can press in the middle and then you see how it's lifting on the side. And just got one more there. So that's that. And we just pick that up. And we know where the center is, so the point on this punched out piece has got a little point there and there. So we know this is the center of our fold. So it's very easy with this one. All we have to do is put the points on that fold. And then just apply a little bit of pressure, not much, just where your dimensionals are. Okay, so then we're just going to adhere that to the front of the card. If I can locate my snail. bit in that. Just wasn't, because this is embossed DSP, it is like thick as cardstock just about, so you do need to add a little bit more snail than you normally would. Just check there's nothing on. It's going to go on my card. Make sure I've got that round the right way. So now I've cut this top panel ever so much smaller. It's not that much smaller than the front of your card, so you're only going to have a very little border. So that there. Then I close it and I just rub it like I did before, so I'm not going to smudge any ink. So it's just a lovely card. It's just a lovely folded card. So just to finish it off, I'm just going to add some rhinestones. Now, these are adhesive rhinestones, and you don't have to do what I do, but what I like to do is I like to add a little bit of my fine tip glue pen when I'm adding my rhinestones or my pearls. So I'm just going to put a little blob in the middle, and you only need a little bit. I just find it easier to use, and you just drop it down there because it won't take very long to dry. A couple of minutes. And just like you to know that I only use Stampin' Up products. All my products are Stampin' Up. So if you're ever wanting any of the products that you see in my tutorials, you can go to my online store. That comes up at the end of my tutorials, and or you can go to my blog as well and click on the shop from my blog. So just one more. So you can see I'm hardly putting any of that fine tip. Well, we lost that one, but I'm hardly putting any of that fine tip glue, and you just, I just like to have a cotton bud. If I see any glue there, I just, and it does give you, the fine tip glue pen, the glue does give you, it's a very strong glue once it's stuck, but just gives you a couple of minutes, or not, about a minute to move those rhinestones if I had to. Like that. But once they're stuck for good, so just be careful with that. That one just needs to be pushed up a bit. But I hope you'll give this fold a try. It is a really fun fold, and it's very versatile on any type of card. So that's the double pleated fold that we've used on a Christmas card today. So I hope you'll give that one a try, and thank you for spending some of your time of your day with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next tutorial. Happy crafting!